Hello, it's Susie. Thanks for joining me on my channel again, Bonsai Druid. I thought I would do a recap of the 5 videos that I've already done because I kind of rushed off on a lot of them and didn't get to show the result of the tree after the work that I did. And I'm going to start with one of the last ones that I did, the corkscrew hazel, because it's the biggest. It's already on the table. So we're going to look at that first and just take a look and see how this tree ended up. You can see that it is pretty good size. I'm not even sure I can get it all the way in the frame. There's the very top of it. It drags down to pretty much the bottom level of the pot. Let's see if I can show you when I stand next to it on the table. It's a pretty good size. It's taller than me when it's on the table. And a close-up view of it. It still has some of its catkins on it. The buds are forming to leaf out. Let's see them right here. All these little green buds. Some of the catkins still haven't done their thing. Let me see if I can get them in focus. This one right here. And then some of them are already spent. When I picked up this plant to move it, it did a big puffball of pollen all over me. So that was nice. And now this tree is not going back into cold storage, but it's going in my breezeway because our weather is starting to change now. And it can have, I want it to have some more sunlight, a little bit more warmth. Also, I'll show you down inside the pot. You'll be able to see that I didn't pot this all the way to the up near the top. It's actually I can't show it. It's about that far down. I can't show it. It's about, the soil level is about here in this pot. The soil level in this pot is about here. Okay, so it's only potted from down here to up about here. And the rest of the trunk, that's about here. The rest of the trunk is pretty straight. And there's some twistiness to it as it goes up. It's a little hard to show on camera. A lot of these roots kind of start off going fairly straight down, so there's some work to be done there. But to me, the work is more to be done there than really up here, because it pretty much does its own thing. And we're going to move on to the next. Okay, and this is my redwood forest after its repotting. I did a hard prune on it back in the late summer, and there are new buds opened up on it. I am hoping to get a lot of new branching this year because it really needs some branches. And then I can fix the apex of most of the trees, which I had to cut off. I come in a little closer. You can see there's a little white discoloration on the tree. There's some like calcium buildup or something there that I have to scrub off. But I don't want to disturb these trees right now because I didn't wire them in, and they're holding their own as it is. You can kind of see where the apexes of all except the back one really had to get a chop. They had severe inverse taper. They were almost becoming like witch's broom at the top. And you can see that most of the little branches that I do have all do have buds and growth. This first one right, there's my finger. This first one right here has the least amount of anything on it. It's got like this one branch right here. I'll show it to you from the side. You can see it's got this, and this. Really need a lot more, a lot more primary branches. So that's what I'm focusing on for this forest, and also growing up a few more other trees to add to this group, and eventually look for a more suitable pot. Currently it's just in a big, heavy ceramic bonsai pot that I picked up in Florida quite a while back, and it's good for its purpose. These trees they got a lot of work to do still, so there's no point in getting them into like a proper formal permanent bonsai pot home. This is kind of their training pot, I have to say, because I don't have anything else the right shape to train them in. Alright, we'll move on to the next one. Okay, this is my South African fig. One of my oldest trees. I've had this over 25 years. Again, trying to build primary branches. And move on from there. The trunk's got some curvature in it. It's not really perfectly straight. I'm just trying to get branches at better locations. Where I do have branches, they're really not the greatest branches, and they're almost all ladder. I mean, not ladder, but, you know, straight across from each other. And then these ones up here, almost straight across from each other. And then at the very top, just nothing really very directional. So, this one needs work. Again, like all my trees, any suggestions or comments would be greatly appreciated. Or if you have any ideas of what you would do with any of my trees, I would appreciate any comments or constructive criticism. This one lost a lot of leaves. I'm still waiting for a lot of leaves to come back on this poor tree. I'm just kind of being patient with it and giving it a chance and not cutting anything at the moment. This is all I've got for months, so we shall see what will happen with this one. Okay, these are my Kojo no Mai Fuji Cherry variety. These were fresh from a nursery, and right after I repotted them, they bloomed. They are starting to leaf out. They are lovely. I put them into a somewhat larger pot than they need, obviously, because this is going to be a grow pot. Because they're very thin, and I want to thicken this up a little more. Got, you know, just literally branches popping, or leaves popping all over, so I feel like I could get some nice low branching that I like to hang on to. Thicken them up. I don't want them to be a very big tree overall. At least one of them I want to keep smaller. And then the second one is this one that already has an extra branch right here. It's got a little more of a bend in its trunk right here. It did not flower as much as the other one, but definitely got leaves. So, I don't know. I feel like this one may end up being the taller one just because where its buds start, or where these leaf buds are budding out. This one it doesn't have anything up until there. And this other one's got them all the way down to here. So these turned out really nice. I'm looking forward to having something new and different. I think they're pretty. They make little flowers. I think the only other one I have that really makes any flowers is my pomegranate and my jasmine. So we'll move on to the next set that I'm recapping on this video. Okay, and this is the blueberry that I did. First time with the blueberry. It's also supposed to make flowers in its season, and also little blueberries, obviously. I thought it was going to be a few separated plants in this pot, but it turned out to be one big root mass. This is all one big connected root. I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 8 to 9 trunks, if you want to call them trunks, coming up from this one unit down here. So I have to decide what I want to separate out and what I don't want to separate out, and I'll do a video on that when I make my decisions. But for right now, it's putting out new growth, it's putting out new leaves, and I just thought, well, we're in the new pot, that's enough for right now. I'll wait till these new leaves get going. I may end up trimming off some of the older leaves, like that have some damage to them. And then I'll decide if I'm going to remove some of these trunks or not. We'll see what happens. Okay, so thanks for being with me as we recapped the trees that I did last 4 or 5 episodes. Just wanted to give you guys a final view of what they look like, where we left off with them. They're all just repotted and waiting for better weather and time to come out of hibernation and start doing their thing full force. So in the future, I'll probably be doing videos on my grove of misfit trees over here. This is Green Isle Banyan, Orange Jasmine. This one back here is my pomegranate, seen better days. And this one here is my Java, which has also seen better days. These have been awake, well, I'm sorry, the pomegranate was in dormancy for about 2 to 3 months. Tried to keep it between 43 and 50. These other 3, they stay awake all year. They aren't meant to hibernate or go dormant, really. So they stay in my studio. They stay about 70 degrees, between 68 and 72 degrees all winter. So I think they get a little tired and they'll be happy to go outside. Once the weather gets well enough. That's not going to be, none of these trees are probably going to get outside full time until June. Even May, they might pop them out for a day here and there. But I really don't like leaving them out in that weather here. It's too unpredictable. You just never know what'll happen. So they stay in my studio until it is time, around June they usually get out. Unless we get warmer than average weather. And we will take a look at these and I hope you guys will have some advice for me and some ideas what I can do. As you can see, they're just in training pots except for this one. And probably had this tree 25, 30 years. This one probably closer to 20, 18 to 20. The pomegranate. Definitely 25, somewhere between 25 and 27 years. This is the newest of them, and that's the Jaboticaba. I've had that for probably 8 to 10 years now, maybe 8 to 10 years. I have an issue with most of my trunks ending up with, or most of my tree trunks ending up with 3 large primary branches all coming off of the same place, which makes me nervous, to be honest. I don't want to get up another inverse taper like happened with my redwoods. So this tree in particular, the Jaboticaba, I know the least about, and as you can see, there's like it's a thick, solid trunk and branches. There's not a lot of ability to bend any of that I can tell. So I hope you'll join me again in the future and see some more bonsai happening. Thanks.